As a summary of our last session, following the conflict in a previous village against the Orzoboros Yuan-Ti and their Gorgon, the party continued on, making good time to the bridge village where they were meant to meet up with Locke and his guides. Give me a moment here, I need to adjust something. There we go. Upon arrival, however, they were shocked to discover that this town too was in dire straits, seemingly being at war with itself. Curiously, the invaders clearly resembled the defenders, but the defenders were the only ones who were armed. At the head of the invading party was what we classified as a pretty boy individual with flowing gold hair. Unsure of what was happening, the party jumped into the fray, mostly to look around for Locke. Specifically, Silver started loudly shouting for him. To the surprise of all, a Blackford tabaxi was the one who answered the shout, sprinting toward her and making contact via awakened mind to confirm who he was and what was happening. The town was infested with Yuan-Ti who had replaced the original inhabitants, and the leader of the village, Radiarc, the pretty boy in the back, was now leading the reclamation effort. A battle into which we subsequently got dragged, and as the battle dragged on, the Yuan-Ti general who had been impersonating Radiarc dropped his disguise and attempted to abduct Locke. He failed, thankfully, due to a well-placed counterspell from Silver. Thanks for that. Following this, as is usually the case when a party of 7 or more level 15 adventurers dogpile something, the enemies quickly fell, barely causing any of us to break a fucking sweat, let's be real.
Yeah, kinda.
High-level D&D, man. That's how it goes.
With the Yuan-Ti thusly slain, and Locke reunited with his friends, the party elected to stop in this town and get some rest while catching up on what they had missed with the Warlock boy. As of now, Silver is the only one who is concretely deduced why he is appearing to them as a tabaxi. That's where we left off.
You forgot about Mira and her doggo. She was not super important.
That was several sessions ago.
I know. Go ahead.
Anyway, yes. So, Locke is still currently a feline, a tabaxi, and yes. I believe we ended last session, as Ryan put it, with Silver being able to deduce via detect magic that Locke had a illusion aura about him, or at least the cat had an illusion aura about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yes, as was said, Radiarc, pretty boy, was electing to let you guys have a rest here after you had successfully helped him save the village, and all of you were giving a chance.
Nice of him.
All of you were giving a chance to sort of rest up and reconvene with Locke to see what in the heck went down. So Radiarc is providing food for anyone who wishes to have it.
Sure.
Are they providing meats?
Yes, of course.
Skunk is all in there.
Bjorn is going to see if he can out-eat Skunk.
Oh, goody!
All right. Oak and Young are also going to partake of the food. And anyone who is, I would like for them to make for me a Constitution save.
Oh, goody!
Aha! The darkness.
Yeah, you're
Little
being
do they know I have the
food.
not sus poppy of protect from evil food +2.
7 from Skunk.
10 from Bjorn.
Toil.
Not looking promising yet.
27 from Silver.
You say con save?
Con save, yes. 22 crit from Oak. Hooray!
Woo! He learned his mistake from the Trishy fish.
You would technically have the boost from Silver because you're in a room that's not super big. So yeah.
I mean, if we're all eating together, everyone probably would be in.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
So yay, 33. Okay.
So, what's 7 plus 5?
12.
12.
12. Okay, yeah. So, and this is, did you roll for Locke as well? Or is he not eating?
Locke is not partaking in the feast. He is sticking to his travel rations. Because he knows how the Fae works.
Okay.
Last time someone offered him something, an entire town spiraled into a fight.
Technically, yeah.
So it's like, you know what? No, fuck it. I'm not taking any gifts right now. I'll have hardtack. I'm gonna have peanut butter and jelly when I get home.
Peanut butter jelly.
So yes.
Peanut butter jelly donut.
Oh.
The plot thickens.
They've got peanut butter jelly M&Ms now too.
The Locke thickens if we do that.
High five.
So, oddly enough, the only one who really seems to have a problem is Skunk.
And my problem is?
And your problem is you want more.
Oh boy.
Like,
Oh,
a
it's
lot
like-
more. It is incredibly good. Like, the best meat you have ever had ever.
Oh no.
What did you kill to get this?
They point at the elephant. Him. Ah!
the
Plot twist, this is actually a horror movie.
And it is the Fae. It is the Fae. So
There
very
There
well
is potential, yeah.
the older satyr person who was providing the meal for you guys is like, oh, it's just some of the food from some of the animals around here, and we've added our own special spices to it to make it even better.
Magical spices.
This ain't technically poison, is it?
No, of course not. Why would it be poison?
I don't know. Something's bubbling and I don't know what.
I think it tastes enchanting.
They will very, very quickly give you some more. Yeah.
I mean, you say Skunk wants more. He wants more. He's going for more.
Yep. Easy enough. This particular brand of spices and things is very akin to the I can't remember what kind of spices it specifically was, but it was used with Jester in Critical Role, where it was like, this tastes great.
The dust of deliciousness.
Yes, that. On the surface,
I see.
on the surface, it's mostly harmless as long as the food that you're eating is actually good food. Basically, all it is a very appealing after flavor. So ultimately, nothing is going to go wrong other than Skunk getting absolutely stuffed.
Bjorn is forced to concede defeat in this eating contest,
Yeah.
but will console himself by attempting to find the bottom of his flask of ale.
Impressive. Somewhere in the midst of all of this, the illusion around Locke is probably going to dissipate.
Easy enough for him to drop whenever he wants, or just wait for the hour for it to end.
He'll just wait for it.
Yep. Turns out all Locke was doing was disguising himself because he felt like that was a smart idea.
Yep. Mask of many faces, 'twas.
Yep.
Good ability, though.
So, as you guys are eating and enjoying the food, there is going to be a, she's sort of off to the side of the, like, area where you're all eating, kind of leaning against the wall. And Silver, given your, is Silver being careful right now? Because she's kind of half worried about the Fae and everything else around her.
What?
No.
No, I only understood like half of that.
So, is Silver keeping a close eye around? Is what I'm meant to be asking.
I mean, yeah, sure, she's keeping an eye out.
Okay. You are going to clock a robed individual sort of off in the corner that seems to be eyeing you specifically out of the group.
Give him your number.
Not doing anything, and appears to be relatively on the small side. Perhaps a teenager.
Relatively on the small side.
Maybe a teenager or like a much smaller race. One of the two.
Hmm. Silver will pat for her purse. Is it still there?
Oh yeah, it's still there.
Okay.
Gradirielian currencies.
You
even
know
get
what?
worth
Why
anything,
not?
I think?
She's going to get up and she's going to venture outside
Just gonna head outside.
because that's the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Locke is just waiting for someone in the party to come to come talk to him.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Because Locke is outside.
Hey,
Sure.
you're not a cat.
Not
Locke.
anymore. Yeah. So you'll venture outside. You'll see Locke. Pika and Robiny weren't really eating any of the food. But they were sort of sticking by you until your friends were, ready to talk to you or whatever it was.
Whatever's going on.
But yeah. So Silver heads out. And Cad, when you come out the door of the little taverny kind of an area, a very, very small, 2.5, 3 feet tall little satyr child is gonna come running up to you.
Hello there.
Hi. You were the one that went running through town really fast?
Quite possibly.
And then you had Skunk's probably still inside the place with everybody where all the food was.
Yeah.
and you had another person that was riding on your shoulders, and it wasn't making you slow at all, and you were just really, really fast.
Yeah.
And she does the anime shy thing with her fingers, and she's like, can you give me a piggyback ride? You were really fast, and it was cool.
Sure.
Yay!
I'll sort of crouch down a little bit so that she can get on my shoulder, I guess.
Yep. Looks kind of like this, by the way.
No.
Little kid.
But yeah, she will scurry up onto your shoulders and then be like, that way! Pointing in a random direction.
Wherever she points, I will go at a speed of about 20, 25, just to make sure that she's okay with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll get back to you in a minute. So beyond that, is Silver going to go to Locke when she heads outside?
One more time?
Is Silver going to go to Locke when she goes outside and sees him?
No, she's gonna venture away a little bit and see if someone's gonna follow her.
Oh, yeah. Roll perception.
It's gonna be horrible. Yeah, 15, not too bad.
Yeah, the cloak figure is going to follow you. Yeah, well, that was a horrible roll. You're going to see her try to be stealthy about it, and she trips over one of the rocks in the road and stumbles a little bit, and then you're going to see ever so briefly underneath her cloak that she actually has what appear to be, they're not super stiff, they're kind of they're less like antlers and more like really sharp pigtails, or really harsh pigtails. And then she tries to set herself back up and tries to hide, but is failing to do so. She rolled a 4.
Yeah, no, so it was just sitting there staring at him well done?
Fine. You're from the material plane, right?
Correct.
I was just curious about your, like, all the symbols and things that you got. I like seeing the people from the material plane and learning more about them. That's all.
What symbols?
Specifically, she's speaking of your like.
Oh, the holy symbol?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Crap, what's my god again?
Helm. Good
It's
job.
Helmet.
No, she'll probably just start going on to this like whole rant about him, explaining if they get bored, they get bored.
Yeah. I mean, you could roll performance to see if you talk about him really well.
Can I do persuasion?
Persuasion works too.
Or religion, because you're talking about a god.
Or religion.
True.
She looks a bit like that, by the way, just with a
Fuck.
cloak.
Oh!
I'm gonna go hide in the corner now.
Oh!
Oh, Jesus.
Somewhere Helm is like, and this is why I do not grant you powers of evangelizing, I grant you powers of smiting. That's
Something like that, yeah, sure.
You're a smiter, not a preacher.
Oh, God. The bad thing about this is Silver may have a temple she somewhat leads.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I never did well with books.
Anyway, she sort of listens to you go on about it for a little bit, and I'm gonna say rather than like stumbling over words or anything of that nature, it's more like you speak about things in a way that she can't really follow because you're talking like miles above her head somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
And since she is younger, she doesn't necessarily know as much about the material plane as somebody else would, and that doesn't click with your brain, and you just like talk over her, and she's kind of lost. But she does, yes, and she does listen though. She's not going to be rude or anything about it, but she eventually gets to a point where she's like, yeah, I only understood like a third of what you said, but thank you for at least talking to me a little.
Oh, yep, okay. Sorry.
It's fine. I just like to learn about the people with...
Whoa. If you want to know about people, you should go talk to the Mr. Furbog over there. I'm sure he'll love to talk about his god.
Oh, okay. And then she will nod and go over and end up in a conversation with Oak, briefly.
Well, it's either that she was going to sit there and say something to like, hey, go bug this kid about his god. Just like, no, he's not technically supposed to talk about him.
Let's see if Oak does any better than you did. Well,
Yep.
no,
About
yeah,
twice as well.
literally. So yeah, he'll get into conversation and be talking about the what was it, Oak Father, I think was his, something like that.
Yes. Sylvanas.
Yeah. So yeah, he'll get into talking about that, and you have your friends outside for you to pull and talk to if you want to go to one of them. Otherwise, Robin, he's probably going to talk to you briefly. Locke.
Okay. I'll say that at present, like, Locke's actually kind of like shifting back and forth between his normal appearance and the tabaxi appearance he had a second ago, just kind of shifting back and forth.
Interesting. I mean, you can do disguise self at will, so.
Yeah, it doesn't cost me a spell slot, so I can just do it.
I mean, why not?
So you're
There's
bored.
no reason.
Got it.
I mean, kind of.
You could look like a different person every single day of your life.
Yeah. I mean, it's concentration, so if anything serious comes up, I have to look like me, but
I thought it wasn't concentration.
I think it's concentration. I
it's
might be
not.
mistaken.
It's not, no.
Huh, okay. Okay, never mind. Yeah, but either way, he's still just turning it on and off, just
It's like Cad when he had the entertainment app.
kind of. Yeah.
Look at.
So, Robiny will sort of eventually step up to you, Locke, and she's... I do really like the tabaxi form that you had before. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, I like it too. I mean, I'm not a tabaxi, but I don't know.
I used to turn into animals a lot when I was younger. It was interesting and fun.
Like physically, like actually physically transforming, or just an illusion?
More real, yeah. I can still actually turn into an animal, like small and simple things, but...
Yeah. What I'm doing is just an illusion, like, and I'll, like, shift into fur form, hold out a palm. Like, if you poke my hand right here, you're gonna feel, kind of dirty, scrawny skin, not a plush coat of fur, so...
You're right.
It's all appearances, it's all vanity. No substance to this.
Yeah.
You call that lush? No.
I do, in fact, yes. I can make myself shinier if it please.
Or fluffy.
New metal.
Or fluffy.
Just to become like a
Almost honey
Blackford
changes
Persian.
no.
I just become like a Blackford Persian, so it's just...
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't like how these faces are just completely squished in.
Turn it to tree.
Yeah, exactly. You turn into a younger version of Tree.
Tree has the poof. Nope.
Yep.
Yes. Anyway.
Some good glasses.
They are good
Yeah.
glasses, yeah. So, eventually, through all this, Robiny will sort of... Well, now that you have your friends again, I guess you're going to... Like, are you going to go home, or are you actually going to go after Dahlia?
That's something I need to discuss with them.
Right. And then she sort of looks back and sees Pika he's not necessarily being pushy about it per se, but he knows that they should be heading back to their own forest from before. Because, I mean, their dad knows how long it takes them to get to this town, so he's not going to assume them to be gone for much longer than, like, minimum. So, and then Robiny just sort of, it was really nice meeting you. I hate that you kind of came here without wanting to, but...
Hey, if I had to get tossed into some random stranger's laps, I was given a pretty decent set of laps to fall into.
That's one way to put it, I guess.
Well, and what else am I supposed to say? I got yeeted through the wall between dimensions and crashed into your backs? No, that sounds rude.
True. Locke, roll me a d20. Just a flat d20.
Oh, goody. 12!
Okay, yeah. Robiny is going to hug you.
Locke is going to be a little surprised and then return the hug. Always a surprise when this happens.
Maybe if I ever can figure out how I can get to material plane, maybe you can show me around or something.
I would not be opposed.
And then at that point, Pika just like grabs the back of Robiny and just like, come here, come on.
It's like overprotective Big Brother mode, activate.
Pretty much, yep. And then once he's like pulled her away, he will like hold out his fist for a fist bump.
I will reciprocate.
And then he's like, your magic is a little weird, I'll give you that, but you're a pretty good fighter.
I have had a lot of practice. More than someone my age should probably have. I'm like, what, 19 years old at this point? I've lost track.
I've heard that the Feywild makes that kind of thing weird for people from your plane, so...
I am old. I am physically older than my age should be on a material plane calendar. So, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, maybe if you end up back in the Feywild for a better reason this time, come by. You know where we are.
Assuming I'm in the area. I ran into you three in a clearing, so I don't even really know where you hang out, but
Mostly there.
I'll keep it in mind.
Mostly there. All right.
Well, you just take care of yourselves, all right?
Yep. And then the three of them, including Lilac, will start to head off. And Robiny, of course, will ride on Lilac's back as Pika runs beside.
All right. Wait, shit, did I get my book back? I literally just remembered that! My book!
That's a good question. You didn't, I don't think.
I'm not in character, at least.
A really cool cat conveniently walks by and goes, nope.
And then, like, halfway through, like, a couple minutes past, you register that happened. You in character registered that happened.
Oh, shit, my toe!
And then you hear the of Lilac's feet running and coming back. And it's not... Robiny is not on her back, because she can actually move a little bit faster without a rider. So she comes on her own, and she has her tome in her teeth. And she's...
Ah, I just remembered that. Thank you.
And then she...
Give, like, an affectionate scritch on the beak.
Which she kind of does the chirp thing, which is very strange because she's so big. But, yeah. And then she will do the equivalent of a Velociraptor smile. I think that's a thing that they can do. It just looks terrifying, usually. And then scurries off and runs back.
All right. Got that back.
Mm-hmm.
How many members of the party watched that whole interaction?
Probably most of them, if they were outside and, like, nearby. Chad might not have saw it if he was running around with the little one on his back, but he could have saw
if he was working his zoomies out to entertain a child, yeah.
Probably. Though he could have seen the dinosaur run in and out of town briefly. So. But, yeah. On that, hey, Cad, where did you keep that flower that the Elderon kid gave you?
I added totally not cursed red poppy flower to my inventory.
You did, yes. Where would Cad in character have put that? Like, where on his person?
Maybe... I don't know. Where would I carry my quill pin?
Okay, yeah.
I guess I have like a little pouch or something?
Yeah. I was seeing you potentially having put it in like a pouch, or maybe you like wore it on your gi somehow, somewhere, or whatever. I was just confirming. Also, anyone who has taken damage can totally heal because you have done that one.
Like short rest or what?
Effectively long rest. You're not going to run into any problems until much later anyway.
Go.
Sweet.
Oh.
So, but making sure, and then so she will be still on your shoulders, riding along. She gets she seems to be okay and content with the speed that you started at going. Doesn't seem to be too bothered by it. And in fact, after you go that speed for a little bit, she was like, I thought you could go faster. You look like you were going faster.
Yeah. if you
want to go fast?
So I double my speed up to 50.
Mm-hmm. So
I can guess based on you.
You notice how she has the like long hair and the longer ears, and yeah, she's feeling that, and she is just smiling. She's loving it.
Jeez.
But
Christ.
what? I heard a David say something.
Yeah, I was looking at what Brian put in Discord.
Stanek.
Yep.
Skunk.
Pretty much, yeah. So beyond that, you will your little guides from before are now going to be gone.
Bye-bye, Pika and Robiny and Lilac. It was fun while you were around.
And then you have your friends, and you can catch up on whatever the craziness that you had going on that you didn't ride in the tunnel.
Right. Guess Locke will just look around to the wider group. It's like, when we're done with our celebratory nonsense or whatever, we should take a bit to chat, get caught up.
It's worth noting that the food is really good, despite those who rolled the higher con to not be wanting to crave more. The food here is really good. There's like... It doesn't do anything weird to you other than make you want more if you failed to save. But otherwise, good food is good food.
Well,
They have ribs.
You asked that last time, and yes, they do.
I don't recall asking about ribs, but I will bring some of the ribs to Locke.
oh, thank you.
Mm.
Well,
You have to tell us some stories now.
I have a few. I gave you the
get
rundown in the tome.
Hmm?
But as a recap, I suppose. Dahlia hasn't been sitting still since the last time we got untangled in her machinations in the material plane. From what my guides told me, and I have reason to believe they were being upfront with me, Dahlia's influence has spread all over the Feywild, to the point basically everyone is either under her thumb or hiding from her boot. And one of her greater agents are the Yuan-Ti, the Warzaboros. We were just dealt with a whole bunch of them in this town.
Indeed. Foul creatures that they were.
We actually dealt with them some before we came to this town, I'm assuming.
They're all over the place, then. That tracks.
Well then, I don't suppose in your travels here you've found where this Dahlia is.
I have not been to her location, and I was not planning on going there alone. Reuniting with all of you was kind of a counter to that. Since I have reason to believe all of this happened in the first place because she wants to snatch me away from Vindsevpt. I don't know if she'd be able to compel my service or not, but I'd rather not find out. Regardless, as I understand it, her primary headquarters, her base of operations, is in what in the material plane is the Misty Timberland.
What? So
What?
Oak. He's like, what?
Right? Right outside where this group first started coming together, and that's where Dahlia's keep is, or at least where her hideout is. I don't know what form her base of operations takes. I don't know if it's a castle, a cave, some really small, unassuming cottage. I don't know. Frankly, it would go some way towards explaining the weird magical phenomenon in that forest. If a supremely powerful archfey is squatting in there in the archfey's equivalent.
That's the fair point, yeah. But that would also mean that she's been there for a very long time, considering that the magic in the forest there has been there since, like, even before Mom got there.
Time differentiations between archfey and material plane aside, I mean, yeah. I mean, she's actively making an effort, at least according to what I've heard, to attain some manner of godhood. Being an archfey isn't enough for her. That I can only assume that's what all of the people being pressured into service and snatching away warlocks from their patrons and the shrines in the material plane are all about. She's trying to apotheosis herself, and we slowed her down for a bit, and then we got distracted. We had to deal with other things, and whatever progress we might have made, she has more than made up for. And now I have at least 2 friends here.
3 if you count the dinosaur.
3 if I count the dinosaur. Yes, so minimum 3 friends here.
Yes, you should count the dinosaur.
I do count the dinosaur. That's why I said minimum of 2. There's room for growth.
So what I'm picking up from this is that you don't want to go back to the material plane yet.
I don't think it's... I'm sorry. This is extremely selfish of me, maybe. But it doesn't feel right just letting this situation sit. And besides, and I'll sort of focus on Cad for this next bit, we know for a fact that if we don't deal with this, she's not going to let any of this go. Whatever wild influence she has on Cad through me and her fascination with me, from a purely self-centered perspective, she's not going to let me alone just because I dodged her grasp a handful of times. I mean, she went to the effort of sending an agent into the material plane to forcefully port me here into the Feywild just to get me. She's not giving up.
No, there would be more.
And I am getting really sick and tired of being chased and hunted.
So what you gonna do about it?
Alone? Nothing. There's not much I can do on my own. No matter what power I've grown, or power I've been lent, I'm only one
I'm
dipshit.
sorry. I didn't see whether or not you were alone. Are we invisible?
No, you are all here. The thing is, you jumped into the Feywild exclusively to grab me and port me home. That was the whole original plan, and now I'm proposing we shift it.
I originally said let's go hunt a god, so
I must not have been there for that. I must not have been there for that part of the conversation, or I must
no,
have
this happened like
I don't
right
know.
after you got ported away from us. So
Okay, yeah.
we
So
have
I
some fun
literally.
Not to mention, and as not to mention, for what it's worth, Locke is also our ticket home. So if he doesn't want to go home, we ain't going.
Yep, that's true.
To be fair, I would under no circumstances hold any of you here against your will.
You would just be sad.
I would be very sad, yes.
Well, that's all the reason I need to stay.
You know what? As far as I'm concerned, this Dahlia chick, she threatened my pack. I say, let's make her pay for that. If you want to go after her, I'm game for a hunt.
Go for the throat.
Right? What do you think an archfey tastes like? Do you think she would taste better roasted or boiled?
I don't want to have that conversation.
Well, I do.
Steamed.
I don't know. I think it might sit there
Steamed.
and make you sick.
Be like vegetables.
Vegetables?
And
Really?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like steam or boil, and she'll have the consistency of a zucchini.
Yeah, but I'm thinking
Alternatively,
something
if-
probably a little bit more deadlier than a zucchini.
Alternatively,
I
if you
mean-
boil her, you're basically making just a massive cauldron of tea.
Ooh,
You know, let her steep for a bit.
true,
Waste of tea.
true.
Hey.
See, now you're all
We grind
speaking
her-
my language.
If we grind her up into her powder, we can market and sell the tea to her enemies.
But aren't
Okay,
we her
that's
enemies?
weird even to me.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, by the point of this conversation starting, Cad would have made it back, so he would be here for all of this.
Yeah, I was assuming Kat has been here for this conversation.
Yeah. The little one just wanted to ride around and go fast for a little while.
Gotta go fast!
Pretty much, yeah. And
So
she
then-
may have tried to take your flower if it had been in a place where she could see it, but she couldn't see it, so.
Nope.
Do we still have a tuning fork marked for this place, for the material, for the Feywild?
Technically that would be in your mother's possession.
Yeah, we kind of used your mother to get here.
Makes sense.
But, and then,
What I propose, We momentarily returned to the material plane, long enough to get back to my mother's library and reacquire that tuning fork. Then we head down to the misty timberland, back down to Oak's home. And there, I believe I should be able to make the jump with the tuning fork and my own teleportation magics, right?
Nope.
I thought that's how we got to hell.
Nope. You got to hell with a tuning fork for the hells from your mother. It still had to be your mom.
Right. Ah.
Yeah. Because the teleportation circle and plane shift are two different spells.
Right. Fair enough, okay. Slight amendment, then. If we do that, then, well, while traveling across vast distances, we don't have to worry quite as much about agents of Dahlia picking us apart every single step of the way. And then once we poured in more or less in the middle of her domain, ideally without even being spotted. That gives us a small element of surprise at the very least.
If I may raise a counterpoint, or at the very least an observation, that does also mean we would not get much of a chance to scout the area out.
That is a good point.
We could do most of the journey.
Also,
How far away are we from there right now, like on the map?
Show us, DM, almighty man of the maps.
yes. On the mainland map, you are up here
I see.
and
Okay.
doing some distance traveling. You could go to Yukiegi or the equivalent thereof, and then you get it's a 12-day travel on either plane.
And time travels more slowly in the Feywild than in the material plane, right?
Yes.
Because it took days to get back to Yukiegi to then port after me into the Feywild. And by the time the party had done that, I had only just talked to Pika and Robiny for the first time and set off. I'd only been here for a couple hours when the party had spent a few days getting back to town.
Yeah, precisely.
Maybe if we roll a bunch of d20s.
We don't possess a boat to do that with, my guy. Also, the world keeps flickering black. For some reason.
But, yeah. If you...
DF.
What the fuck is 1DF?
What?
That's if you click the fudge, I guess.
Anyway.
Oh.
The most
Wild.
direct path, considering we also only have, at least currently, one use of teleportation circle, which I suppose we could get that again if we were to teleport back to Yukiegi. But if we did that, we would knock out an absolute ton of our journey. I just wouldn't recommend popping into... I'm with Skunk on this one. I wouldn't recommend porting right into the middle of her whatever kind of stronghold she has. So...
That being said, there is merit to the idea of traveling the distances in the material plane, if only for the sake of expedience.
I mean, we could do it even better. If we go to... Since we would need... Alessandra to get us to the Feywild in the first place, and she can do that spell as many times as she needs to, we could, from here, right now, port back to the material plane, end up in Yukiegi because it'd be using teleportation circle, end up in Yukiegi, and then get the materials to do teleportation circle again to get back home again, and then port from the Feywild version of Yukiegi, or walk from the Feywild version of Yukiegi down to Misty Timberland. We cut off half of our trip. And then still have the means to scout the equivalent of the area down there in the Feywild.
So just to make sure I have that right, we would use my teleport spell to just port right back to Yukiegi now.
Yep.
Get what we need from Mom, and then shift back to the Feywild, and then make the journey on foot.
Pretty much.
I would make only one small amendment to that plan. Namely, don't port back into the Feywild while within Yukiegi's bounds.
You don't want to.
Don't want to draw attention. And also, we could cover part of the distance in the material plane, say maybe half of the way down the road, and then make the port over.
True.
Yeah, because that means we would be gone a lot longer if we were traveling in the Feywild versus the material plane.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly. I think I'm getting a nosebleed.
Also, to compensate, I will absolutely be casting alarm spells moving forward. I haven't been doing that. I'm gonna start.
Good idea. I'd like to not get stolen away again. Otherwise, all of this was fucking pointless.
It's also worth noting that in order for us to do that, we would be traveling part of the way on foot from Yukiegi to the Misty Timberland with Alessandra. So she's the one that has access to plane shift. So,
Well, that's one more person in our roster who can kick ass.
assuming she would want to come to such a thing.
Do we want to give a warning in the Misty Village? Be like, hey, we're, I don't know, fucking around in the Feywild. Something might happen. Just be careful.
Honestly, that's a good idea. Sending a message to the families there would be wise.
On it, says Oak.
All right.
Or in the
Just maybe
Feywild.
Just maybe, like, I don't know, fuck off to Rydell and, like, have a vacation for a couple weeks.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so I guess then the plan is to go straight from here back to Yukiegi then.
All right. And I should be able to accommodate that. I'd have the materials and a spell slot, right?
Yep.
And just remind me, the way it works is I use a, teleportation circle with a specific type of thing. What's the exact thing that lets me use that to port out of the Feywild or whatever?
The teleportation circle as the spell says that when you use it, you can teleport to any known and understood teleportation circle that has been made permanent. Which you know a lot of them, and most of the ones that you have found on material plane version of Gradiriel anyway.
Right.
And technically, Cad wrote in his book briefly the glyph so that you could theoretically also port all the way to the Shadowcon cluster if you wanted to. Or like
Fair.
a bond.
Not that we have any reason to go to either of those places right now.
But you do have them. But that is the glyphs. Those that you found are the ones that use teleportation circle, and that's what your spell does. It makes use of magic chalk to teleport to a teleportation circle that you know where it is, and it doesn't involve that the writing on that spell says nothing about whether or not you have to be on the same plane or not. So theoretically, if you knew where they were on other planes, you could go to other planes too.
All right.
And that would actually be a better course than the plane shift, because plane shift takes you to either the equivalent place that you're standing in or to someplace random, depending on how you use it. So, yeah. Anyway.
Either way, I guess Locke will start getting that ready.
Yep. Not hard to do. Takes like 10 minutes for you to put all that circle stuff down.
All right.
Anybody got any last-ditch things they want to do while in this little village?
Nope.
Nah.
Skunk, in those 10 minutes, is going to see if he can buy some of this dust of deliciousness food. Just to take on the road.
Buying the food or buying the thing that makes the food delicious?
How expensive is either?
What kind of valuables does Skunk have that are not specifically gold? Because they use a different currency.
Right. Of course. I forgot about that.
Yep. Gems would technically work if he has them, but...
Skunk does have a pearl worth 100 gold he hasn't been using.
Was he intending to use that for something?
I don't think there's anything he can use it for other than sell it for money.
Well, yeah. Roll me a d4.
3.
Cool. So I'll say that you can get roll me a d4. Roll me persuasion.
Okay. Nat
Ooh.
20 for a total of 24.
Well then.
Nice.
Okay. So with that in mind, then Skunk will get 3. We'll say 3 vials or equivalent thereof of containers of some sort. Maybe it's like salt shakers or something. To allow him to make use of that dust of deliciousness as probably several times, depending on how much of it he uses. We'll say.
So how many servings of dust of deliciousness would that be, would you say? Give me a number of uses, because that's going to determine what I plug into my character sheet.
Yeah. Okay. So 12 total.
12 doses of the dust of deliciousness. Which causes disadvantage on wisdom saving throws in those who use it, as I recall.
It does. If you're wanting to use it in a more aggressive kind of a means, yes, it technically does, but it doesn't last for very long.
1 hour, it says.
Yeah.
Looking it up.
I mean, yeah. In the context of where you guys were in town, it wasn't going to do anything. But me giving you access to it now, yeah. And yes, in the bag of colding, do you have a trippy fish left?
No.
Too bad. Because that would have been hilarious.
It's okay. We know where trippy fish are. We can probably buy one at some point, so that freaky experiment can be made.
It could be, if you wanted to.
That being said, Skunk is not going to be eating the trippy fish again.
Of course.
Yeah,
Not.
for some reason on my character sheet I have bag of coating, 2 trippy fish.
You were holding it for a while, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Been a while.
Been a while.
Yep. Well then. Anyway.
My God, we are becoming them.
Kinda, yeah. We're not near as professional, but yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, you guys will port back to Yukiegi. Oak will have taken a moment to inform Alessandra that you were coming. And you guys are back in Yukiegi. Hooray! Nyeh.
Yay.
So
Getting those TV show travel times now.
even better than that. Most of it's teleporting. So you are back here, and Alessandra is going to immediately hug Locke. Like, yes, finally, all right.
Hey. It's
How long were we away?
So,
That math.
So I can do that math. It's not hard. Let's see.
We were like in the Feywild for like 3 days.
Oh, more than that.
No, yeah, more than 3 days.
Because just on the main map, it's a 7. I skipped over most of it because you guys did good rolls to keep from dealing with most of the bad stuff in the Feywild. It's a 7-day trek from Yukiegi to the bridge.
Right.
And then, for what I did for the math of the Feywild was effectively it came to about a month for a day, so 7 months.
Jesus.
Was it? I thought it was just a couple of weeks.
It came out to that when I said it as It was quite a while. We'll go with that.
Well, we'll not worry about the finer points. It's been several weeks. And just call it that.
At least a week, if not very much more. So
Hey. Sorry about that.
Well, at least you're back.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to last. Probably.
What kind of
Get on the sending.
what kind of expression is Locke wearing right now?
Kind of awkward, but mostly, like, determined, set. Like, something's come up, it's gotta be done. Sorry, has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Awkward resolve, essentially.
Yeah. All right. So what's your plan then?
Let me get you up to speed. And Locke will spend the next, 20 minutes getting Alessandra up to speed on what we've learned about Dahlia and all that shit happening in the Feywild, and the whole reason I got nabbed in the first place.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, if you're wanting to travel down closer to the Misty Timberland a little bit before you teleport, I can prepare and go with you for that. Though, I don't, as much as I would want to, I would feel safer staying behind so that in case something went wrong, I could send somebody else to save you.
Yeah, probably a good idea. Just don't make it Dad. He has a problem of landing in cells instead of breaking people out of them.
Oh no, it would certainly not be your father. He would be the person I send out to go and get help. Rather than the person
that
who
much he
actually,
can do.
rather than
That
the
much he
person
can
to go
do.
and help.
He is notoriously fast, so probably a good idea with that.
Although I don't know if I could stop your sister from wanting to go and help if she figured it out.
I mean, if something bad happens to me, I don't want anyone in the family to be kept out in the dark about it. I mean, as it is, until this is all resolved, I don't think any of us are really gonna know any peace.
Not really.
The one thing I genuinely really do not understand about all of this, like Dahlia having a power-tripping ego, wanting to ascend and become a god or something, I can honestly understand that. I don't agree, but I get it. But why is she so seemingly interested in me?
I don't know.
Is it just because I happen to be... Is it because I happen to have the capacity to be snatched away from one source of power and I've agitated her, or been involved in agitating her? I don't know.
What about your friend? You said she has something to do with him. Maybe there's a connection there.
Which friend?
Cad.
I don't know. Honestly, at this point, I can only speculate.
Are you awake, Kenneth? Still?
Do what?
Yeah.
Biggermart.
Alessandra's going to look towards you for a minute, and she's going to be like, "What is your connection to all of this?" They make it seem like this Dahlia person is the one that can somehow take control of you. Do you know anything about that at all?
Cat shrugs. Not really. Because I don't think I do, right?
I think by this point you may have had, if you the player may not remember, the roll wisdom for Cad.
Because, I mean, there have been multiple times when things have happened, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I would understand that.
Right. Ultimately, you can have your suspicions, but with a 12, all you really know for certain, based on the stuff that you have encountered, is that given that when you were manipulated by perhaps Dahlia, and she took control of your specters, and your specters were by far not what they should be, you can sort of, with the wisdom of 12, piece together that there's some connection between your specters and Dahlia, though you don't know why or how.
I could have Skunk and Locke make Arcana checks.
I mean, he's not going to know what he doesn't know, so.
True. But I'm assuming that, like, the information that we're talking about here is kind of being universally shared with the group.
I mean, yeah, it's a conversation that's happening with.
So basically something along the lines of, I mean, it's sort of weird that she might have something to do with it, but I don't know how or what or if.
Yeah.
Well, shot in the dark. Are your spirits, like, Feywild based?
I thought they looked like me. They're supposed to be my ancestors.
And this is something that, having been in a bond for a little bit briefly, Cad was able to piece together the details that goes with that. That
They did not look like... They look like me and not my ancestors.
right. That and the training that you got when you were in Gradiriel was not tied to your ancestors as it should have been because you were not originally from here.
Are you secretly a warlock?
Do what?
Are you secretly a warlock?
Not on this
Like
character.
you wish for,
I mean,
wish. No, it's like you wish for something and then all of a sudden you can do it. Correct?
No. Don't think so.
I thought that was like your whole.
You,
I don't know. It might be me getting mixed up with the character, but I swear it's like there was a backstory thing of like he couldn't rage until at some point for like a test he did something and he like totally blacked out.
Yes. Yeah, there was a thing where they were testing him and he blacked out and things worked. Yes. And when he came to, he was like, "How did it go?" And everyone was terrified and they were like, yeah, this isn't for you." So from his own point of view at the time, it was apparently I'm not good at that.
Yeah, but what if she granted something in order for that to happen and to like actually go into an ancestral rage, even though technically couldn't, given based off your race of being a different elephant from the north or something. I don't know. Conspiracies. Where's my red string?
you.
Let me get you a corkboard.
Right, yeah. You were. I will point out you were actually on the right track, Sam. The specific details for piecing all of that together, the characters that are currently here don't have all of that. But you are on the right track. Anyway. Okay.
Whatever the end result is, whatever the source of the problem is, however she's doing it, we're pretty damn sure it's her. It started in the Feywild and it's followed us ever since. So until Dahlia is either stops or is made to stop, arguing the semantics is ultimately pointless.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but why are you two tied together?
Bothers me too. I don't like going into a hunt without knowing all the details of what we're hunting, but sometimes all you have to go on is a pile of poop. Trust me, you would be amazed how many hunts start with finding a pile of shit. Most of them start with that.
Why
It's
do
the
most
easiest
of
way to
them
know there's something living in the area.
That's true.
There's also that,
Whether
but
or
also
not they're
poop
close by.
There's also that, but there's also the fact that poop stinks.
I mean, yeah.
Like a lot.
Yes.
And also, the stink doesn't leave the butt entirely when you're done pooping. It kind of cloys for a bit. And Skunk sort of taps his nose. I can follow that.
And that's why your name is
So-
secretly Skunk.
Okay.
Anyway.
Anytime you're tracking somebody for us.
Oh, no, most of the time if I'm tracking someone for you, I'm just following their natural musk. If they've pooped recently, it helps, but only if I get to the poop. And I don't typically make a habit of that when tracking people. Because that's just, that's just weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, I'm not a cat. I'm not going to go barging into someone's latrine while they're taking a dump and stare at them.
Yeah.
In fairness,
it-
that is because the cat believes it is guarding your life. They are loyal creatures.
I don't need to do that when someone's taking a poop. At least not while staring at them.
But I don't always get to the poop.
Yep,
That is definitely an out of context worthy quote.
it is. Yes.
Yep.
I will agree with that.
People will have no
I
idea
think-
how you arrived at it. And the subtext of that would be by Musk. Anyway, moving on.
If anything, it would be nice to know what the connection between you two are, so that way it might be something we might want to watch out for once we get closer, in her lair, right?
Yeah, and if nothing else, one thing to think about would be that if there has been precedence for Dahlia to take control of Cad through whatever means that she did that, that also means that she's probably prone to do that to others, and that it may be easier for her to do that to Cad when you're there. So,
Yeah.
either way, it's something worth thinking about.
We got a lot of that, yeah.
Well, we have a short amount of time to figure that out, so let's go.
Yep. All right.
Alright. So, I will go a couple days out with you on the road so that we can at least get a little bit closer. And then we can teleport from there, and then I can come back home just in case.
All right.
Alrighty.
Let's hop to it.
Alrighty then. So, assuming there's no one that's going to want to do anything specific in conversations or anything therein, you guys are going to be very safe along the road. Hooray. Good job on that. Very smart. Good job.
Yep, Skunk uses alarm every single night. And Locke does not leave the tent.
Fair enough.
Like when the tent is put out, Skunk.
Nice.
And
Skunk,
also, we
you
make
mean-
sure we keep Bjorn in next to him.
Yeah, so Locke never leaves the tent. He might stand in the entrance, but he never leaves the tent, and he always has detect magicka going, so if someone invisible approaches, he'll see their invisibility aura. Skunk is setting up alarm around the perimeter of the campsite every night.
Mm-hmm. At least when you're in this land, you don't have any problems with that.
Good.
That was a very smart idea to take most of the trip and not have to be in the Feywild to do it. Good job.
So I'd say
Yeah,
maybe
we'll
like
be gone
around
for
this
like a
bend
year.
here. I was thinking like around this bend here is when we make the port.
You could do that, yeah. About 3 days
Oh,
out with you.
3-4 days, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So, quit doing that, Skunk.
No. Oh.
Yes. So you're gonna go to the bend in the road, basically, and then you are going to port into the Feywild with Alessandra's magic.
With assistance of Mama, yes.
Yep.
Oh, it's like we never left.
I mean,
within the Feywild, we'll have been gone for like a day.
yeah, kinda. Cause yeah, something like that. It's kind of insane. So you guys will port into the Feywild once again in the middle of the road, or along the road, rather. And one thing that you will immediately notice is in material plane, this up here is always snowy, or at least mostly snowy. And then when you were up there in the Feywild, it was like farmland rather than mostly snowy.
Right.
Down here in the Feywild world, it's a lot more It's a lot warmer. It's almost borderline tropical in nature.
Ugh.
Though not like rainforest tropical, but like hot. Very
How's
hot.
the humidity?
Humid.
Yeah.
Is it Florida? Did we teleport to Florida?
The kinda, yeah.
Oh God, send us back.
Us and armor are not meant for this weather.
Nope.
While I'm porting in, like Skunk is gonna start complaining.
Yep. Yep.
Not of the heat though. That he's fine with that. Like things keep getting in my clothes.
Yeah.
Those would be mosquitoes.
Ugh. Itch.
I can get through
It's
your
all right.
nails.
Apparently.
Fey mosquitoes.
They just want your blood. It's fine.
Well, it's not
Well, you
for
gotta be careful
sale.
with you gotta be careful with the diseases they carry too, especially those in the Feywild.
Yep.
It might turn them purple.
I like being green, thank you.
Yes.
Turn
Also,
them purple, make them smell like cabbages.
something else that is immediately apparent upon you getting here and being this close. This area is absolutely covered in a very, very, very heavy, at least from a distance from what you can tell. It looks like you basically have a cloud on the ground from where the distance you are.
Silent Hill.
It's covered in an incredibly dense fog. And also, this area was mostly flat in main world. Here, it looks like a forested mountain.
Oh, great.
Well, goody, we're gonna do some climbing.
Oh,
But yeah, you have that in your immediate vicinity. Granted, you are still several days out from getting actually to the mountain itself. At least a day from getting into the mountain itself. Because it kind of encompasses the layout of where the forest itself was. Who has best nature? Other than probably Oak.
what?
Who has best nature skill?
3.
I have one.
Skunk has 9 in nature.
Hey, that's better than Oak. Oak only has 7.
Well, Skunk is a hunter, so makes sense for him. Should I roll nature for Skunk?
You can, yes.
19 natural 1.
Oh my gosh. Rogues.
Rogues, man.
Rogues, man.
Yep. Because your minimum is 10.
Yep.
Yep.
On any skill I have that I'm proficient with.
Yep. It's so funny that it still gives the red for the natural one.
It's like, hey, if you were anyone else,
Yeah.
if you were anyone fucking else, you'd be fucked right now.
So, yeah. Also, having deemed with your nature roll there, it doesn't appear to be like normal, natural. There's something off about the mountain, other than the present fog. That there does seem to be something a little bit unnatural about the mountain itself.
Oh, twist, it's actually a giant castle.
Heh. Alright. Already that mountain's giving me bad vibes. That should not be there.
It does.
What, are you a native to the Feywild or something?
No, just look at it. Something's off about it.
Watch it be a giant turtle.
Well, I mean, the fog cloud is alarming for sure, I'll give you that, but what else about the place is striking you as odd?
I don't know. Can't really put my finger on it. Something about it's giving me the ick, though.
Roll.
When we go in there, we be real careful.
Roll Arcana, Skunk.
For which of us?
Skunk.
For which of us? For Skunk, okay. He does not get benefit, well, it's 16, so not bad.
Hey, it's still a 10.
Fantastic,
Look
not
at that.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 9 more than what I rolled last time, and 3 less than what I got.
Yes. Skunk is with an Arcana roll and the higher nature roll that he had a second ago, he's able to determine that, given the magical nature of the Feywild, and the fact that he deemed with nature skill that this mountain doesn't belong here, it's quite possible the mountain was brought here or made here via magic.
I don't really know. It should not be there. Maybe it was brought here or made here. I don't know, but it doesn't belong. So whatever we do, when we go in there, we be really, really careful. We're going to be intruding on some real dangerous territory.
Tell me about it.
Yep. Alright. Well, everybody is well rested. How do you want to approach this? It's about a day's travel out from where you're currently camped.
I say we find a sheltered spot closer, try to make a settle camp. Wait until, I guess, we've had a chance to rest once we're closer, and then we can start poking at the edges and see if we can find a reasonable way in or some trick as to what exactly we're looking for. One problem with this,
How are you feeling?
Look at how big the forest is. We're gonna be at this for a bit, even with that mountain.
Girl. Hey, Kat, how are you feeling?
Good, I think. How am I feeling?
You're fine.
Yep, good, I think.
Even though you're really close, supposedly, where Dahlia is, you don't feel anything at all?
Anxiety, apprehension, nervousness.
The problem is that, near as I can tell, every time that, rage possession thing happened, there was no warning. It just occurred, so...
There are trees or something near us?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
I set down my weapons on the ground near the party of people. I run up to one of the nearby trees and unleash a rage and just barrage the crap out of the tree with my fists. My goal is to destroy the tree.
Okay.
Does he always do this?
No, this one is new.
Maybe he's trying to prove something to us?
Or to himself.
That he can dismantle a tree? I mean, I never doubted that.
That he can control his rage.
So raging and swirling things, and I imagine after many hits, the tree is kind of crackety,
Oh yeah, for sure.
crackety smackety. No more treeity.
Cadrill has started his Minecraft playthrough.
Casual, got wood.
Yep.
Sorry.
Um.
So I imagine attacking the tree is successful to some degree or extent.
Oh yeah, definitely. Very easy to do.
Cool. And then I kind of look over at the party and just kind of nod. And shortly after said nod, rage fades. And Spectre's poof. Shrug. I think I'm okay.
Interesting.
I'm not really sure there's any way we can really future-proof that scenario, so...
Probably not.
Yeah, nothing comes to mind.
We just have to hope that when the inevitable chaos ensues, he can maintain control of himself, I guess.
Well, I'll take point, I guess, if there are no objections.
Probably best for the more hunter one of the bunch to do that, yeah.
Bjorn, you want to take up the rear with that sword of yours?
Pick up the rear?
Yeah.
Yeah, can do that. Make sure we don't get ambushed. Makes sense.
I'm one of the squishiest of the group, so I'll situate myself in the middle. That way, no matter what attacks us, I'll be ready to blast it from a range. Oh, actually, one thing, real quick. It occurs to me. Locke is going to jog over to Skunk real quick while fishing around with his belt and then pull out the sickle. And he'll hand it to Skunk.
Oh, nice.
I got this enchanted weapon ages ago, and I think I've used it maybe once. I
Twice.
feel like you would get better use out of it than me. I tend to hang in the back.
Really? You sure?
Let's be real, I'm not a close quarters combatant. If I'm 5 feet away from something, something is wrong. You seem to get in up and close and personal a lot more often than me, and you're a lot better with a sword or a bladed weapon in general. It'd be better with you than me, I think.
If you're sure. I can't guarantee I'll use this over my short sword, but I'll take good care of it.
Please do.
You gonna tell him about
And
the
Locke
magic
will
side
give,
of it?
and Locke, yep, so Locke is going to give the Sickle of Slaughter to Skunk, because Locke never fucking uses it.
I mean, you also have to tell Skunk what it does.
Yeah, Locke will give Skunk a dissertation on it. So,
Was it, was the command word for it common?
it was bleed in the common tongue, yes.
Okay, yeah. Making sure. I wasn't sure if you put that in, like, you never said it in of course, but, you know, you could have put it in, like, an Elvish for bleed, and it amounted to the same thing. I just was making sure. Alright. So, Sickle of Slaughter is now on Skunk. Hooray.
Yep, give me a second here. And also, because it is, it inflicts, it uses inflict wounds on a successful hit, which is 3d10, right?
Yeah.
3d10 necrotic.
Yep.
And a sickle can use dex, right?
Yep.
Alright.
Although I think it had only so many charges of being able to actually do that. It couldn't, like, do that with
Yeah, it's like, it can only do that like 3 times a day, I think.
Yeah.
But still, that's up to like 9d10.
Yeah. On top of, as
Let's-
part of a sneak attack.
Yeah, so let's hear. So, when Locke would use... So let's hear. If Skunk uses it. Nice. That's, of course, assuming I actually expel a charge of that.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
All right.
Trading weapons and things.
It'll be of much greater use to Skunk than to Locke.
Trading weapons between your characters. Good job.
If I have 2 player characters I'm controlling at the same time, I might as well.
Yeah. It's also going to be interesting for you to have the ability to do that in my story's boss fight. Anyway, so you're going to begin your trek with Skunk leading the charge.
Yep.
Actually, let me do this. These invisible currently. Okay, yes. So I'm going to put you guys on a very, very simple, straightforward battle map thing. Boop.
Ew.
So that we can organize how the party moves. Also, where is
Skunk in front,
Bjorn in rear.
Locke in middle.
So
Why does the map keep flickering? Is anyone else getting that, or is it just me?
I think it's just here.
Probably just you.
Try and refresh it.
Man, I haven't noticed
I mean,
something.
it's not like a huge issue. It's just every so often the visuals just kind of flicker out and then back in for a second. It's weird.
Have you tried turning it off and on?
Not in the middle of a recording session. I haven't. I'm not about to start.
Something like that.
Yeah, it looks good to me.
Yeah.
Alright. So I just wanted to get a sort of order that you're going in here. So as you're getting closer,
That said, if I may make one note, I'm not 100% sure, given the fact we have a party of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. I'm not 100% sure we need to go full single file line when we're out in the middle of things. If something attacks us sidelong, our line will break instantly.
Or they just line us all up and get us with, like, what?
Yeah, so like maybe like have some people off to the left and right.
Yeah.
Stagger, people. Stagger.
so maybe something like that. Maybe Oak over here, and Bjorn like straight behind Locke to surround him a little.
Give me a moment. I am refreshing the Roll20 page because what? Huh? Everything looks weird. Everything's kind of weird right now.
Looks fine
Weird
to me.
in which regard?
I don't know if it's true, is the regard. Like, CAD is off-center from the grid.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
So,
I
okay,
agree with that,
Skunk.
yes.
So Skunk. Silver,
Yeah.
if it'll do its thing. CAD. Young. Broski. Oak. Me. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Am I on point?
Yeah.
That
Okay.
is correct.
All right. So
Yeah, more or less something like that, yeah.
something a little bit more staggered.
A little bit more staggered, a little more spread out.
All right, cool. So you guys are going to be making your way towards the mountain, or the shrouded castle mountain, whatever the heck it is over there. And Skunk is leading the charge because he is the hunter, I guess.
I have a really fucking good perception check, so if there's anything dangerous ahead of us, he will sniff it.
Uh-huh.
He will sniff it, and then he will shoot it dead where it stands.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we will all go for burgers.
Ooh.
Sure.
What's the best burger joint in Gradiriel?
Probably somewhere in Rydell.
Probably.
I mean, yeah, that would track.
It'd either be
You wouldn't think so, but it's like a little just a tiny door in the wall, little spot on a street corner somewhere. It's like the main interior space is like only like 10 feet wide, but like you order a burger there and it's like it's like heaven in a bun.
Fuck yeah.
Sure.
Sounds
Like you try to get like the
ideal.
big bougie place, and it's like it's fancy, but like
Oh, hey.
there's no
not
soul to it. You go into the little corner spot though, and it's like they make those burgers with love and elbow grease.
Bjorn,
passion.
Hopefully their elbows haven't been in the burger, but yeah.
No, their elbows up.
Bjorn would have an easy way of finding it. Mudslide, take him right there.
Excellent.
Anyway.
Valid.
All right. We can make this whole plan work then, guys.
We'll go for burgers when this is over. I mean, hey, Skunk has 12 servings of the dust of deliciousness.
He does, yeah.
Yeah, so if the burgers end up sucking, it don't matter. We've got
And
this.
even if they don't suck, considering the fact that we're heading towards the final boss, it seems as good a time as any to celebrate with some bullshit good tasting food.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? Fair play. Ooh,
All
I
right.
wonder.
So you guys are going to make your way forward. And Skunk, you can roll perception, my dear kobold friend.
On it! 1 second. Where the fuck did I put it? There it is. Perception of 21, my minimum.
Mm-hmm. All right. So,
Wait, isn't it supposed to be a touch higher because of the omnilet?
was that a thing that we gave you with the amulet?
I thought. I might be mistaken. It's not in the omnilet document. No, well, whatever. It's still 21.
I think we did give skills to Skunk in a way from the amulet, but I don't know if perception was one of them.
Either way.
Either way. So 21. You're going to be looking ahead to the mountainside, and you're going to see a at least as he makes his way out of 21. Yeah, 21 good enough. At one little small section of, relative to the size of the mountain itself, at one little small section of the fog, it's going to be several paces away from you at this point, like 30, 40 paces away from you. But you're going to see an individual that comes out of the fog. And said individual is a, they seem to be wielding a shield and a hammer. And the rest of the armor that they have on their person is very much natural. Because they look like this. Boop.
Turtle?
Turtle.
Portal.
Turtle.
I like the wave on the shield and the hammer. That's really neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they are currently, like, coming out of the fog. They have the rest of their gear in bags and things. And, They haven't seemed to really notice you yet because you're several paces away and you have perception of huge. What
They
Skunk?
emerged from the fog.
They did, yes.
Skunk will silently hold up a fist in a everyone stop motion and duck low to the ground. And just sort of observe this individual a bit more closely and see if we can ascertain the fuck his deal is.
So, are you going to sort of stealth and try to move closer?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, roll me some stealth.
25.
Alright. So, stealth of 25, you sort of scurry and you're like went down on all fours to sort of try to hide as best you could.
Yep.
Given that this area is, aside from the mountain backdrop, it is fairly open. There's some trees and things scattered about as per the map here, but it is, for the most part, kind of open, especially considering you're in perpetual daylight because Feywild. But you will scurry up a little bit closer, and you will see him sort of making his way out of the fog and like patting himself to get some of the moisture off of his like more cloth based attire. You'll sort of just look around for a bit, and then if you would be so kind, Skunk, roll insight.
Okay. Regrettably, that's not one of my good ones, but, 18 still, so.
Okay.
It's not one of my good ones, but, not awful at it.
Not awful at it. The general stance of how he is moving, at this point, he does take on a stance that's a little bit more alert, compared to when he initially stepped out. And given you had some brief interactions with it, with Locke, ever so briefly as they were, you get this distinct impression that he's talking to somebody, mentally. His facial features are not super focused on what's in front of him. They seem to be more internal. And after a bit, someone else will come out of the fog. And that someone else is a very small, relatively speaking, a very small figure. And they have they're shrouded in a cloak. They're about skunk size as far as like height goes. They're a small creature. But what Skunk finds to be the most interesting about them is their skin has a more metallic sheen to it.
Huh. A Warforged or something?
Not quite. But Skunk may have not been privy to seeing such a being such as this, so they're more human than a Warforged is. They got more organic than a Warforged usually does, except most of their organic is still largely covered. It's actually, races-wise, for your benefit, actually an auto-gnome.
Huh.
Though he is not equipped in the same way that picture is. That was just the auto-gnome that I could find that was wearing a cloak. He's got a very, like, mini Dr. Doom look about him going on.
Gotcha.
And you see him come out behind the turtle. And what is your response, Skunk? You have a moment. Anything you want to do with that?
have they noticed me at all?
They haven't reacted to you.
But have they noticed me?
You rolled an insight of 18 earlier. The turtle does seem to be more on guard than he was initially, so perhaps. Giving you a little bit of time to react.
Skunk will simply, for the moment, I don't know if these people are like agents of Dahlia or if they're a different group of adventurers who were going in there and then got turned around and left. So I don't want to assume hostilities until weapons are drawn. So Skunk, for the moment, in case he has been spotted, is going to put on a friendly smile, though he's not going to reveal himself. And he's just going to keep observing them for now.
Okay.
And see if they start talking or saying anything. If they're having a conversation, I want to listen in.
Yeah. What about the rest of the group? You guys gonna hang back and wait on Skunk?
I suppose so.
Sure.
Seems like the right move to me.
Yeah. So you're
Scouting. Let the scout do his thing.
You're several paces back. So for purposes of like map elements, it's probably something akin to like you're back here. Skunk is here. A little ways off, like here. And then at the edge of the map up at the top here is the two individuals.
Alright.
We're just gonna say that the edge of the map is gonna be basically where the fog is.
Alright.
You're was that less than 30 feet to the edge there, easily, or about 30 feet? Yeah. So
About 30 feet.
So you can definitely hear the kind of conversation they would have going, assuming they get one. And as you are sort of watching, the turtle sort of look back at the little auto gnome that came up and be on guard. There's someone out here. The little auto gnome looks back and forth and it's like, I don't see anyone. I've never been that observant that you're here. And then they themselves are being cautious. They see your friendly smile. And you are genuinely keeping a friendly smile, yeah?
Yep, Skunk has no interest in fighting them if they have no interest in fighting him, so he's keeping a friendly smile.
And then there's a brief pause in their conversation for a moment, and then, come out, little one, says the turtle.
Cripes, okay.
Skunk will, I guess, just stand up, kind of glance back at the rest of the group and gesture in a manner that indicates approach, but be careful.
So you'll sort of step up, and then the auto gnome was like, oh, kobold. Interesting. What's someone like you
You're
doing?
made of metal.
I am, yes.
That is amazing. How the hell does that work?
Magic, mostly.
Man, why does magic always give me the mundane stuff?
So what's someone like you being way out in the middle of the Feywild? You don't look like you're from here.
Well, in fairness, neither do you.
I don't look like I'm from anywhere normal, so...
And you look maybe like you came out of a really weird workshop somewhere. Actually, no. You look like you come from Mechanus.
Mechanus, what?
That's one of the planes, isn't it? As the true neutral plane that's just purely inhabited by machines.
That is correct, yes.
That is a fair point. Yeah, I forgot about that one. So he's gonna just sort of blink and is like, you know what? That's probably the best I've heard that from. Sure.
Also, I'm not the one who walked out of a wall of spooky fog.
Oh, that's not spooky. As soon as you know what's inside it, it's fine.
Well, I don't know what's in there.
Are you curious about it? Is that why you're here?
Could say that, yeah.
Is the rest... I don't gather the rest of the party is attempting to really hide. They just may be approaching cautiously.
I mean, that's what Skunk beckoned for them to do. Whatever they are actually doing, that's up to you all. I don't control you.
Bjorn's gonna trust Skunk's instincts, so if he's gesturing for us to move up and in a friendly kind of way, that's what we'll do, or what I'll do at least.
Oak will will do the same. He's sticking close to Locke, though, just in case.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess Locke will be on approach then.
Sort of keeping this ring that we got around Locke here.
Might as well.
Alright. And then, so, if you're approaching out of some curiosity, do you know anything about back there?
Well, looking at it, I can already tell you that it's not naturally occurring.
Valid. Most things in the Feywild aren't really natural. They're more magic than anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what I mean. Like, it didn't happen there on its own. Someone put it there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Do you know who?
I do, actually.
Oh, come on, share.
Depends on why you're here.
I mean, you said it yourself. Curiosity. I like sticking my nose where it doesn't belong, getting into trouble, having a laugh, and then scarpering off to get in trouble somewhere else. It's kind of my whole thing.
And then the turtle sort of like gestures with his hammer to the rest of the group that's back there and is like, I suppose that lot is your friends then.
Yep.
Bjorn waves.
Bjorn and Silver. Or actually, yeah. Bjorn and Silver, you can both roll me religion. And Bjorn, you get it at advantage.
Woo! I do like having things at advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
You
Never
need
do
it
myself.
because of how bad your rolls
Kinda.
tend to be.
I've doubled my last religion, so that's a start.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ayo. Non-natural 20.
Nice.
And the other result was a nat 1.
Wow. Very nice.
There you go. The duality
Jesus,
man
you're-
right there.
Your luck is just such a fucking pendulum, my guy. Good Christ.
It's weird because like I roll in our other game I roll so middle of the road all the time. It's dumb. Dice are dumb.
Let me double check a thing. I believe it was this one. So, yeah. Bjorn, Silver's not gonna quite get it because she rolled just under what she needed.
Darn it.
But you got it. And the reason you got advantage is because you spent you spent at least a couple years at sea traveling around briefly.
Mm-hmm.
The turtle individuals, like, though the symbology that image has is mostly like a wave and a shield, you pick up on the let me find the need a symbol here somewhere. No, well, I guess it is. Yeah. Okay. So, the actual symbol that's on the turtle shield, instead of being just like one cascading wave, it's two waves crashing together. And you know that as one of the deities that you would see in like the symbology of several like pirates you would encounter on the seas, and you would hear either goddess of the deep or queen of the depths in various circumstances regarding that symbology.
Oh, that sounds potentially ominous. Do I know what moral leaning this particular deity had?
Personally, no, you don't. But most of the people that you encountered that had her were not particularly the. A lot of them were greedy pirates.
Okay. Do I remember the deity's name?
With a 20, not natural. Yes, you do. It is specifically Umber Lee. That one.
Umber Lee.
She has
Alright, I will.
She has a much more fitting, quote unquote, fitting name, but considering the people that you encountered with her actually worshipped her, I'd imagine that they probably didn't call her that in different circles.
Oh, is it? It's not the Bitch Queen of the Sea, is it?
It is, actually.
Yeah. Awesome.
That is one of her many titles, the Bitch Queen.
Fuck yeah. All right. I will share that with the rest of the party. And that is the name Bjorn, I think, would know her by. So he'll specifically be like pointing out the turtle. He's like, you see that symbol? That's the symbol of the Bitch Queen.
I get the impression that's not the name.
It's one of her names.
Excuse me, explain a little bit more?
Yeah, and if you, as the player Bjorn, David, don't necessarily know the specifics, the Bitch Queen is basically a pirate deity. She is a very greedy sea goddess that is after as much coin as possible.
We should keep an eye on this fella.
So, you keeping that under wraps, I'm assuming that was mostly whispered at the trio, at the bunch that's down there.
Yes.
So...
I mean, these people look kind of, like, healthy, right?
I mean, yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how you can gauge that on an autognome, but...
I mean, looking at the turtle, it's like, there's no, like, inkling of death on it, right?
No, not from what you can tell.
Okay.
No, any weird necromancy magic, no? And then, so, the otter gnome will move a little bit closer to you, Skunk, though slowly. And, he will, given that you have such a high passive perception,
26.
You pick up very quickly that the otter gnome doesn't appear to have any weapons on his person, like at all. He's not wielding anything. You don't see any obvious blades or anything of that nature. He has like a tool belt, but nothing that consists of like bladed weapons.
So either his body parts turn into weapons or he is a magic user. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. And he's going to step closer to you. Well, I suppose perhaps introductions are in order if you want to not necessarily go straight into some form of an attack or other. You're being cautious. I can applaud that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know you.
I don't know you either. And he will reach out on his largely metallic hand. And Edlin.
All right. Skunk will go in for a handshake.
Skunk.
Double check something. So he will reach out to shake your hand, and you will. Yeah, it is largely metallic. It almost doesn't seem organic at all. If there is organic underneath, it's like when you are shaking the hand of somebody in heavy armor with like the gloves and the metallic and all this, but even worse. It's like it's a part of him. So, and he will just shake your hand briefly, and then let go. He came up to be more friendly, as it were. And then sort of looks past Skunk at all of his many a party of friends back there, and just, well, I suppose if you're venturing in there, be careful. There's lots of craziness.
Any hints as to what we can expect?
And then the turtle speaks up, and it's a maze of horrors.
Respectfully, that is not helpful at all. We're in the Feywild. Horrors are to be expected.
The maze part, however.
Were you being literal or figurative with that?
And
So, what are you guys doing here?
they'll sort of look at each other and then, hey, Locke, roll for me a stealth check with advantage.
Okay.
That's interesting.
18.
Ha. All right. So the two will sort of look at each other for a minute, and then you will hear a different voice entirely, female, and it's like, wouldn't you like to know? And you'll get a more armored individual that will come out of the mist as well. And she looks a bit like this.
Oh dear.
Well, don't you just look pretty?
Right? Yeah.
Purple. Her
Perfect.
flail is a lantern.
It is, yes.
It strikes me as
really
being
is.
extremely impractical.
That depends on what that is inside the lantern.
I mean, it could be green flame blade, which just bounces to everyone.
Mm-hmm. So, granted, the actual individual that you're looking at isn't wielding a flail like that. She has a mace, but yeah. Still big shield and all that fun stuff, and the purple motif going on. She also has glowing purple eyes. So, and she will sort of step forth and sort of look to the other two and basically like, what are you two doing? If you know he's there, we were trying to be more subtle about it. You guys are what's the word I'm looking for?
Boy, I don't know.
Boring, somewhere between like boring, naive, or like worthless. Some element of that persuasion of like, she's frustrated with her crew. Or at least the crew.
So
that
dull.
she's frustrated with the crew that she works with. And
I have a feeling there's more of you.
it's quite possible. And we are going to
Oh, 4 more?
4 more. Why would you say 4 more?
I don't know. I'm just guessing here.
So I will give you tokens on the board because we're gonna roll some initiatives.
Oh, good. They're attacking us.
Yep. But here's the thing: you have a group that can't be surprised, so there's no surprise round involved here.
Yay.
Hooray!
To be fair, I think basically everyone was expecting that we were about to be attacked anyway. So.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly.
Yeah,
And
we weren't getting the good
So it's
vibes.
like the second the armored chick came out in the back of Skunk's head, he was like,
Ah, shit, here we go. All right.
and was already reaching for his weapons.
and the last individual is also going to come out as soon as like weapons are drawn and putting him on here. Boop. And full image sprite for him looks like this.
Oh no.
Oh no. It's giving me no.
I'm thinking.
He's gonna be a
Hey,
pain in the
bro.
ass. Swashbuckler, right? Like that's the vibe?
Yeah, it is
He's a
actually.
swashbuckler, I swear.
What?
It's like what they do and they can be a pain in the ass.
Yep.
Anything can be a pain in the ass, really.
Yep. You will find their classes and whatnot. But what I will say is, from a given appearance, at the very least, this fellow here is. I don't know if it's necessarily what the sprite is that I'm looking at, but I had him labeled as a Cymic. He's amphibious in nature because of experiments and things.
So, rogue, paladin, Either fighter or barbarian, and I'm guessing artificer.
You're close. And the chick is much more than just human. Something's off about her, hence the purple eyes. Although,
Yeah.
if you can read the image names, you can totally get what she is.
She an Azamar as well?
No.
She's not?
Kalashar.
Well,
Oh.
no idea what that is. Doesn't matter, though. We're going to beat him up.
It will be a complete slaughter.
Yep. It is.
Watch out for chicken.
Hey, I get to use my
It's
new
posting
weapon.
on play.
Cool.
Yep. We'll roll initiatives for that at the beginning of next game. And then
We'll just pull up a turn order. We can do him now.
Oh, yeah, true, I guess. I'll have you guys roll for yours, and then I'll put everybody else's in there.
All right. Skunk got a 24.
Yeah.
Locke
That's
got
a 4 for
20.
Bjorn.
Yep, that is on brand.
You know,
I actually rolled
if nothing
decent
else,
for a
at
change.
least I'm consistent.
Okay.
Nothing else.
Let's get a roll for Oak. Boop. Well then. Funny enough, Oak rolled a nat 1 and got the same initiative roll as Bjorn, but Oak still goes first because his dex is higher. And then we need a Young. And then, let me, just for sake of putting it out there, I'll roll on-screen initiatives for the rest of them. Because it's funner that way. Kalashar, lady, you're first.
So she comes out to berate her buddies and then watches as they get shredded
Possibly.
for like a bit. And I was like, oh, God damn it.
Potentially, yes.
It's like, I will love it if Skunk gets to get off a use of slaughter and lands a critical hit with sneak attack.
Awesome.
Oh,
That would be amazing.
That would be crazy, yes. So, Skunk, Rogue... the rogues are first. Skunk, Rogue, Locke, Young, Turtle, Silver, Cad, Chicky, Gnome, Oak, Bjorn. Cool. Okay. That spread's actually fun because it puts you guys in betwixt all of their shenanigans.
So,
Alrighty then. So we'll come back to this next time. Good job on you guys circumventing half of my encounters to get here.
and now we're facing like all of them at once, aren't we?
You will
Yay.
be. Yeah.
It'll be fun.
So I just have to expedite my designing of Dahlia's lair.
I see you were using the same tactic I use. Throw random encounters, quote unquote random encounters at the party over and over again to buy time to design the next big set piece. I do that a lot too.
Yep. You got it.
Pretty
You're
much
right.
every single time my players run into random monsters, it's specifically to slow them down so I have more time to plan.
Yep, it's stall. That's all it is. All right.
It is just
I
to
sent the link
stall.
That image or whatever it is that you linked is not wanting to work properly.
No. This is a sad
I
day.
see it. You gotta
Alright,
I don't.
click the link.
you had to
Make it
hit
diff.
you had to hit the redirect thing. Got it. Yep. Makes
Ah,
sense.
well, that's a machete, not a sickle, but sure.
The point still stands.
Yeah.
It does, yeah. And because you've basically called it anyway, Swashbuckler Rogue, yes. Sea Paladin, because they're fun.
A what paladin?
Paladin of the Open Sea. It's technically from Critical Role because it's Ford's.
Ah,
Paladin of the Open Sea, Artillerist, Artificer, and Moon Cleric. So,
oh.
it's gonna be fun.
It'll be an interesting one.
I'm especially excited for the combat coming up. I like these guys. They might not necessarily work as a good team altogether as far as like overlapping abilities and stuff, but the abilities that they have, I love them. All right. So, and that's also why I wanted to come to it fresh. But thank
That's
you
legit.
guys. It was great. You had a bit of a reprieve session. Hooray!
Huzzah.
So, let's do.
Do some outro shit.
Yes. Join us next time can be Sam, and the Shadows of Gradiriel first part can go to David.
This has been Shadows of Gradiriel.
Join us next time where we're gonna fight in some fog and maybe get our way out of here. Maybe not. Who knows?
Yep.
We're not trying to get out of anywhere. We're trying to get in. And these idiots think they can stop us. Ha!